This is a very bitter pill to swallow because today's main hope was on Lakshya Sen in potentially assuring us of a medal. But I had said prior to the semi-final that I was scared because Lakshya Sen was up against Viktor Axelsen. And unfortunately, the nightmare has played out because Lakshya Sen has lost 2022 14-21 to the Great Dane, Victor Axelsen. And because of this, he will now fight for bronze, but that is also not assured. Because if he plays in the bronze medal playoff, if he loses it, then unfortunately, he will have to settle for a 4th place finish. He will face the loser of the Li Zijia match versus Kunlavat Viditsarn encounter. But Victor Axelsen, what differentiated him from Jonathan Christie, Chou Tien-chen and him? Pressure. Anybody who was facing a deficit at that point would have crumbled under pressure. That is what happened with Jonathan Christie. But that wasn't the case with Victor Axelsen. I mean, Lakshya Sen was leading 15-9. He was dominating the early play. He was ensuring Axelsen was making errors. Even at the net or be it with the smashes, he was hitting it wide. The backhand, forehand, everything was functioning smoothly. At 15-9, panic button somehow seems to be pressed automatically when it came to the Indian player. Lakshya Sen then allowed the deficit to be reduced. 18-13, 20-16, you had 4 game points. 4 game points at this point in time. How do you squander it? Lakshya Sen showed it just how. Victor Axelsen was far more aggressive at the net. His smashes, his rallies, especially he exploited the back of the court very well. And because of that, he overturned a 4 game deficit and managed to ensure that he won the first game 20-20. In the middle, Lakshya Sen saw it and he looked demoralized. I am no body language expert on this, but when he was there, the host broadcaster span to him, he looked deflated. He had squandered a golden opportunity against Victor Axelsen to get the initiative. Somewhere down the line, the flame burnt. 7-0 up in the second game. He was going great guns. The fight was still there. But this is where Victor Axelsen steps in. Axelsen ensured that he tied Lakshya back to the court and ensured that his own smashes and forehands were now coming into sync. He managed to have it 11-10 advantage, but that was the best that the Indian got in the second game. Axelsen raised this game, 1 points consecutively and 21-14, where Lakshya could only win 3 further points. Axelsen just dominated in this, and that is why, unfortunately, when you look at it, he will now face Li Zijia in the bronze medal playoff. It is going to be Victor Axelsen versus Kunlavat Viditsarn in this particular match, and you have to feel for Lakshya Sen because he had played a kind of badminton that was giving us so much positivity. Especially look at the game against Jonathan Christie. He emerged from a tougher group to ensure that he would go into the semi-finals. He beat Jonathan Christie quite comprehensively. He defeated HS Pranoy quite comprehensively. He bounced back from losing the first game against Chou Tien-chen. Somewhere his stability, his stamina, if you look at it, was much better than the Chinese Type A player. With Chou Tien-chen gone, you faced your ultimate test against Victor Axelsen. Now, there is a reason why Victor Axelsen has always had a great record against Lakshya Sen. Lakshya Sen encountered a beast. Victor Axelsen 6'4" not only is athletic, but is incredibly agile. Look at one of the shots that Lakshya Sen had a smash near the net, but Victor Axelsen with his reflexes got it back to the back of the court. Lakshya tried to go back and tried to whack it back into Victor Axelsen's corner only to ensure it found the net. This is where it was so magnificent. Victor in the second game was nailing smashes right down the middle and in the forehand, in the backhand side of Lakshya Sen. And that is why when you look at it, this represented a missed opportunity. You knew that he was deflated when unfortunately he squandered 4 game points. You don't get that opportunity every day against the Great Dane. There is a reason also why he's only taken 1 game off Victor Axelsen in the past and is taken it to 22-20. This is because Axelsen doesn't crumble under pressure. He trusts his instincts, he uses his reach, he uses his athleticism and ensures that he takes it to the back of the court. He kind of has a double play. He does a 1-2 knockout punch. Front of the net, then extreme back of the court. It is in that misjudgment area wherein if you leave it, it could be just touching the line or it won't be touching the line. This is the ploy that Viktor Axelsen has always employed, and that is why he's extended his head-to-head record to 8-1 against Lakshya Sen. It was 7-1 prior to this. It's now become 8-1. Unfortunately, you can see clearly that he's speaking to the host broadcasters, thoroughly deflated, because you were on the cusp of becoming the first male badminton player to secure a medal. Now you have to go through the longer route to ensure you get the bronze medal. And you're facing against Li Jiazhe. Not very easy, because against both the opponents, whoever he would have faced, Kunlavat Viditsan and Li Jiazhe, he was always having a bad head-to-head record against them. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. IST, you are going to see Lakshya Sen in action for the bronze. 5:30 p.m. if you look at it, it was initially 5:30 p.m. now it is 6. So that is why now he will face Li Jiazhe in the semi-final of the, if you may say, the bronze medal playoff of the Paris Olympics. But this is a very bitter pill to swallow. We had always touted Lakshya Sen to be there. Every video that we used to do, there was a huge hype around badminton. It was always dominated by the Indian women players, Saina Nehwal, PV Sindhu, they were all dominating it. Now, Lakshya Sen still has the chance to become the first male shuttler to win a medal in the Paris Olympics. But unfortunately, it will not be silver or gold. That will either go to Kunlavat Viditsan or to Viktor Axelsen. How do you interpret this? Because he looked certain that he would do something spectacular. But unfortunately, 2016, that was the pivotal moment in which the match turned. We'll take some comments at this point in time to see what the fans are saying, because everybody will be heartbroken. They will be heartbroken, but then many people say, well played, Lakshya. But will you really say well played, considering the fact that you are facing your ultimate nemesis at this point? So Priyanshu is saying Lakshya had 2 golden opportunities, 2017 and 7 in second set. Anyways, Lakshya can win bronze. See, Priyanshu, that was what I was pointing out. But now he faces Li Jiazhe, again an opponent who Lakshya Sen doesn't have a good record against. So, Light Yagami is saying we Indians should stop participating in Olympics instead of embarrassing again and again. Even when we do good, every decision will go against us. Are you really sure about that? Why should we stop participating in the Olympics? Because we lose all the time? It's the pinnacle of the sport. Olympics is the pinnacle of every sport. If you do well, at least he's given you a chance to win a bronze medal. Do not despair, do not reduce the quality of the medal. A medal is a medal, irrespective of the color. Lakshya Sen tried his best, but Viktor Axelsen is much better. You have to acknowledge that. In the entire BWF circuit, he and Shi Yuki were the best players, 1 and 2. You have to acknowledge that. Pressure does play a role. It happened with even PV Sindhu in 2016 Rio. It's happened even with Lakshya Sen even here as well. So that is why when you're up, when you feel that I can close it, closing out games is the most difficult thing in badminton. Always understand that. So there's one Arush Gupta saying, yep, Lakshya is very young. He will bloom in upcoming years for sure. Yes, we hope so. Lakshya at 22 years of age from Uttarakhand has really displayed his class here. The highlight act was a sorcery against Jonathan Christie. We still have one more game which will happen tomorrow. So 6 p.m. IST we are looking at it. Sunny Singh was saying, Victor was moving shuttle here and there during serve. Okay, but then has he crossed the line in that sense? I can't take that next point. Sunny Singh, understand one thing. You do this, you can be still, but as long as you are not changing your line, then you can be acknowledged in this particular sense. This has always been Viktor Axelsen's way. Why are you pointing it out now? When BWF has not had a problem, why you want to point it out now? So again, take the defeat sportingly. Don't be bitter about it. Calling the next opponent cheater or any these kind of things or any words does not make you a good understanding of the sport in that sense. Height is a major factor. Anand Vijayan is saying, height is a major factor in badminton. India need more players who are at least 6'2". Are you sure about that? Then why is PV Sindhu having a problem against the left-handers? Tai Tzu Yin, He Bingjiao, Carolina Marin, somewhere down the line, fitness and athleticism, India is still not up to par with the Chinese or with the Europeans. So that is why it is at this point in time. So Dex Li Zijia's all speed will be a great match for gold medal. Dex, it's bronze medal. It's Kunlawat Viditsan versus Victor Axelsen at this point in time. Kapil Wazirani, it was Victor who ensured to put Lakshya out of net play most of the time. He knew Lakshya at nets was good. That's experience. Exactly, Kapil Wazirani. But even when he was at the net, Lakshya did make some mistakes and he used the reach pretty well, and you could see that he was kind of in the middle ground as well, not too close to an end, not that far back also. Somewhere down the line, Victor Axelsen was really ensuring that he would make Lakshya Sen run around, but the stamina was there somewhere down the line when he lost those 4 games. Unfortunately, it petered out in that sense. Lonely saying he recently defeated Li Zijia, so he has an upper hand for the bronze. Again in the Olympics, let us not get ahead of ourselves, because Li Zijia will be determined to ensure that he turns the tables on Lakshya Sen. Lakshya Sen turned the tables against Jonathan Christie and Chou Tien-chen, against whom he had bad records. He was on a course correction there also. Here, Li Zijia will be determined to ensure that he gets the bronze, because even he wants to prove that he is one of the best players out there. Abhay Chauhan is saying, when we had thrown that 4-set point lead, I knew he had already lost the match. He was low on stamina even from the first set. Maybe because of occasion today, it wasn't his best game of unforced errors. Yes, those unforced errors came at the worst possible time, and I think because of that, pressure. It's a strange thing, pressure at this point in time. Well played, Lakshya. Somanshu Priyadarshi saying, if he would have won, it would be an upset. He played well. Exactly. If he had beaten Victor Axelsen, but to get to the gold, you need to beat the greatest that is there in the field. So that's why hard luck for him. Sridhar Savaikar saying, Sen had to win the first set from a 2017 position. You cannot gift a set like that to a top player. They don't give you a second chance. Victor wasn't in his elements during his first set. Sen had to capitalize. Sen didn't capitalize on 2 occasions. Third time unlucky. Victor Axelsen made him pay. So that is the current situation that we have got at this point in time. All the 3 major events that were there, hockey delivered, Lovlina didn't deliver, Lakshya didn't deliver. Lakshya has one more chance tomorrow. Let's hope he can at least end Paris Olympics with the bronze. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this video. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis. More action coming your way, especially with shooting. Bye-bye.